Welcome. This is Crimey Queen. If you're joining us for the first time, this is the channel where we get excited about love. This is where we ignite that which dwells from within us, that which comes alive, makes us smile. Hence, we say the crimson light is life. So, the crimson light is our journey to actualizing self-full love. This is where we have fun with words and numbers, numerology to be precise. Okay, so we are continuing our presentations on the number six. This is going to be, I think, the fifth presentation. Yes. Now, if it's the fifth, I am really wanting to believe it is the fifth because I do get excited about the number five. Of course, I do get excited about any number, really. But five really has its key. Yeah, it has that vibration that unlocks. It's the lock. It equals lock. It equals shut. So we can shut, we can lock. Of course, when we shut, we close the door, whatever it is, the door of our mouths. I do go on, but that's what I love doing. Okay, so of course, and it's also mouth, number five. So there we go. Okay, so I'm getting excited about five, and why not? I'm just putting up my five hands. It's really about getting to understand who we are. We perhaps spend 24 hours a day and not really pay attention to that which we are. Um, for instance, the five hands and five hands. Oh, this is really wonderful. Okay, or five fingers. Perhaps there is another three hands waving about, invisibly. But on a serious note, it's really what I feel we ought to be doing, paying more attention to what we are, even in our five senses, how we function with our five senses. And doing these exercises at a stage, as I say, it seemed like we're going back to kindergarten in spiritual realm or spiritual learnings because we need to unlearn certain things that we had learned before that only serve us to a certain point. And then we need to revisit, just like we are doing here. So basically, I feel that I had gone to this stage, or maybe gone through that stage, but there was other learnings. The cycle goes on, but I had to revisit the jazz that I had done or performed in certain sections, certain classes or dimensions to really enjoy this life, enjoy this time that we have here, this playground, if you like, but without taking too many unnecessary bruises, which is what I had done. Yeah. And also learning the vital lessons for evolution, how we're growing. So, like I mentioned earlier, it's like climbing up a hill. We've done it before, but we go down again. But we have now acquainted ourselves to what it constitutes to climb up that hill. We want to do it in a safer way now, or in a fun way, or in a more exciting, not just exciting, but useful way or purposeful. This is the thing. We want to do it in a more purposeful way. So it is essential that we know the resources that are required to take us on this journey to birthing that newness, that new job, that new home, that new aspiration, vision, whatever it is that we are endeavoring to do, that new awakening that we are going to encounter, that we are ready to receive it, we are ready to harness it, and so on and so forth. Okay, so back to number six. Number six, as you see, you'll see that if you're joining us for the first time, this is the template that we are using. The template is hinged on the word sacrifice because, well, I believe that everything we do it's on a sacrificial level at one stage or another. Whether it's at stage one, stage two, it's like being at school or it's the university of life. Whatever dimension we are operating from, there seems to be a degree of sacrifice. I don't know, the image of a scientist, for instance, came to mind, and that he is very meticulous. Of course, he spends a lot of time in his laboratory doing all these tests and experiments to serve mankind. That is his goal. But however, there is a sacrifice being performed on another's. His wife is like dedicated to providing the meals at lunchtime, doing the laundry, taking the responsibility of the school runs and all of those things. And that means there is a part of her, she probably has sacrificed her inner desire to be a teacher, or she's still teaching in some way, but she had seen it in some other forum, being in the school ground, playing with children, or teaching them how, to draw, whatever it is. But there is a sacrifice. So someone is always, to some extent, performing a sacrifice. The scientist too, although he's enjoying being sorry, being at work, I seem to pay attention to the cough. I don't know if it means that perhaps it's not really a good, or the best analogy, but I am believing that he too is performing a sacrificial act of not spending much time with his wife and children. Okay, so whether it's a good analogy or not, sorry, but we'll stick to this point for now. Okay. I'm just thinking what Freud would say about this. Okay. All right. So there we are with this, but it's just to draw the analogy how we are performing sacrifices. Perhaps we are going through those exercises that will help us to understand that when we see the journey that we are really performing, that we will not really address this as a sacrifice, but as I say, see it as more a purposeful act that we are doing for the greater good. And so, whatever we are doing, we will be able to add meaning and purpose to it and to our evolution, knowing that we are not performing just for our sake, but for the greater good. That is what I am hoping we can extract from this. So, sacrifice in itself, although we are looking at the number six, but I can't help but take note of how it seemed to be that journey that we're on, not seem to be, it is, as I say, but the sack, it's as if we get fed through the sack, and with all the nurturance or resources that we need, we are provided with that at a primary stage. There's a rift that happens here. It's as if whatever we are occupied with in this stage of our jazz, the bucket, and whatever luck we have encountered, we go through this other three stages, the rift, as if there's a deduction or of our occupation in this stage. This is where we add and subtract. Well, of course, we have the 4 points here, and this is we add, subtract, or multiply here in our developmental stages. Of course, we could also divide there. Of course, if we do this, we are dividing too. So Here we know that this is the developmental stage. This is where we get our maths together, if you like, and puts us into that new dimension. It is necessary that we do that to get into the new dimension. We can't carry everything forward with us here. This is where we understand our makeup with the sixes here. I was talking about the two sixes here as well. So we see that when we are in this new stage, it's as if we are presented with the two sixes, hence Christ with the two sixes of 12 disciples, of course, 6 and 6 meaning 12. And of course, we know 12 is all in all makeup, the 12 zodiac signs, the 12 months of the year, the 12 hours of the day, and so on and so forth. So, but we are in the middle of that. We are in the midst. It's when we are in the middle we are able to make those distinctions more adequately or more readily. We have been looking at number 6 in this fox stage. Of course, the riff. This, as I say, in the riff here, RIF, is part of our section in this middle section, although 6 is in the very middle here. But let's look at this section here too. We see that, of course, when we have been using Revelation as part of our template as well, which is not on here, but we would know that Revelation takes us into this middle stage, like Satan does as well. Satan ends on the end here as well. This is at that stage Christ said to him, "Get thee behind me, Satan," meaning go back, because Christ knew that from this stage he was okay. He didn't need Satan's help anymore. Not about where we read that, and Satan went into him or took him on a, Satan took him on a high mountain. This is, yes, there is such a verse that Satan went into him. Satan went into him. Him is 3. When we do the numerical value for him is 3. There are 3 5s here, which is 3. And the him, the M for north, and took him. I've got to get back to this because this is really delicious. Very, very delicious. So, and took him onto a mountain and showed him. Look, this is where Christ had seen, or it said, look, all these stones, and we see the word stone as well, ends up here. Oh, well, there's all here as well. But of course, when you're on this part, you are able to see on both sides. So STON, NESON, there we are. Let's do this. This STONES. To go back here again. Sure, it's like, yes, you can see this part here. It's like you can see the fox. It's like Christ would have been in that position to see that there is a working to be done here to get to have this new delivery. But then Satan was busy showing him all this part where he was familiar with. So you can turn all these stones into bread. But that's where Christ said to him, "Get thee behind me," behind. And of course, the word behind, well, that's interesting because the word behind entails, okay, the 9, I, and D. Okay, so we see the B, which is where it has constituted, every agreement happens here. So get thee behind me, BEHIND. Okay, so we see the reflection of 9 is here as well anyway. And so get thee behind me. So that means This is not, I'm quite aware this is not where I was meant to be. Let's just do the numerical value for behind. I think it's behind the word was. But this is what I have been saying. We have been so occupied because the word behind, we have been so occupied with that whatever happens in that B section. So it's as if that's where agreements are done. Okay, and Satan of course would be there in that because there's the T. This is where he nails you down with the T. Okay, 5, 9, 8. Of course, he has the ability to climb. There is an H here because if he's in that direction or in the middle, there's an I here, an H. That's the 8 where the I is. So 5 and 2. So this is, okay. So this is 9 and 9, 18, and 8, 26, and 2, 30, 35. 35 is 8. 35 is 8. So this is perhaps, so if for instance, get thee behind me, so there is the 8, and if we wanted to, because that's where is the number of infinity. We have the I here. This is where 8 is. 8, the I. When we do the numerical value for the word I, it equals 8. So get thee behind me. So this is what we have been talking about. It's as if there's always in everything, there seem to be the polarities are showing in everything. So when Christ would have said to Satan, get thee behind me, there is the behind. And me is 9 because it's like get thee is 10. It's like looking at this 10 and saying, I'm going to split this. THEE, this is 5, 5, 8, 2. That's 5 and 5, 10 and 10, 20. So that's 20. So 20 actually is what joins or you plant or it's south or it's so it's like really saying when it says get thee, meaning the join, get it away, get it behind. So this I here, it's interesting. I have to really explore this term again, but it's clear that it is saying that Christ, this is where he was on the mountain, where Satan went up into him or took him into a place. You know, the word took as well. Now, this is where we would feel that you are in Christ and you or Christ being a strong and godly, yet still Satan takes him somewhere. This doesn't quite make sense to me yet. It does not really took him. The word took, of course, we have explored that too, because it comes into that dimension. We see that it happened with the disciples as well. Sometimes we need to go with the flow. It's that two twos at the end. This is what I am saying. Where it's like when you were hooked with these two twos, it is take two, you know, and 6, 6. So we see I have just done the numerical value for behind, which is 8. Nothing comes into your consciousness unless it finds something like itself on which to attach itself to. So there we see 8 here and 8 here. This is what was happening here. Now, whether we add 8 and 8, 16, which gives us 7, we have seen how 7 have shown in these two dimensions, with the 7 and 7 being the two where God split or Eve saw or God saw that everything was good, meaning and 7 days would have been split in 7 7, and there we have the 14, or and so on, because it's on the seventh day and God saw everything. God rested from all the works that he had done, but we see on the word Saul had come several times. Okay, but let's go back to, let's see, it's 20 minutes on this presentation, but sacrifice, I wanted to really show how sacrifice, which equals 10, but I have been looking at sacrifice as 9. And I have also been looking at sacrifice as 9 in the sense that it also constitutes 9 letters. And it also has that bearing on in our makeup, in our psyche. And this was intuitively done, but I hadn't realized that it also carried the numerical value of the 10, which shows as it is. When we do the word rif in the middle, it equals 8, gives us the I in the middle as well. Now, I'm just saying this is intuitively done, and we see RIF, which is 6, 9, 9, 9 and 9, 18, 19, 20, 26, 24, sorry, which gives us 6. And that is right here in the middle. And we have seen how, so the other words, this is 5, and this is, I think this is 8. Did we do this as 8? But this is 5, this is 6, this is 8. Ice is 8, yes. So we were saying God is cold, God is ice. And this is really showing us the coldness of what happens in sacrifice, that cutting away. It's like the temperature gets really cold, or it's ice cold. It's like as if you get to a stage where you cut off your emotions. You cut off. There is no it's cold, it's not warm, it's not receptive, it doesn't make you smile, it doesn't make you want to do any of those things, not in this section here at all. The sack, it feeds you, and that is like a good movie, if you like. It feeds you with wonderful things and to capture your attention, and in the middle of it there's a lot of riff happening. Things are just all over the place, and it takes down your emotion, it cuts it down to size, and then it takes you into that other dimension. So basically, this is where we have to be using our resources to open our third eye. It's always giving us that opportunity to open our third eye, and to, of course, get our humanness out, or that the love. This is where, going through all of these, we have to learn to forgive, we have to learn to love, and to survive, and to replenish, and to subdue. This is where we are becoming very multifaceted in how we are handling our emotions right here. And it's as if, as I say in this section here, where I could not change 11 of the letters, which is very symbolic, because this 11 is like the flip mirror to the word Jesus, or our 11 number. That is how I walk, our the 2, 11, it really is 2. So this is really saying, you may see yourself as one entity there, but there you are facing your W at that stage where it has been set in a template that you can't do anything really about it, because this 11 has been set, the pattern has been set for you. Right here, you have to go through the whole motion of the ice age in sacrifice before you can change that temperature to get in warmth and nutrients back in the sack. So we are looking at number 6 in a very profound way now, and this is really all about love. This is the nature of the world that we live in. Of course, world, we have done that, equals 9. So world and sacrifice is really the same. World is 9, sacrifice is 9, love is 9. So there is not much more that we can do than to learn how to maneuver through these patterns in our life journey, to awakening to the patterns or the love aspect, or learning how to embrace everything that it gives us. Hence, we have the word love is 9, as I say, and also the word I'm trying to. This is really, but love is about truth. This is what I said I was going to cover in this TRUTH. This is 8. I like the 8 as well. 2, 3, 9, 2. So, okay, so this is 8 and 2, 10, and 12 is 23, 22, 22, and 2, 24. So truth is 24. This is our 24 hours a day. This is the 24 of 2 years, 12 and 12, which is what we are often offered as in loans, time to, the 24 months for repayment or contract of our telephone lines and stuff. Okay, so these are the 24s that come to mind right now. So truth is in sacrifice. So we see how we can relate. This is as if truth is transpired in all these aspects here with number 6. Okay, now I would love to also show that how truth and 6 had been, of course, we know that from the scriptures, how God created man on the 6th day, meaning, and everything that was already created was really part of our makeup, everything that we can see. And it had taken me some time to understand that that everything is part of me, and everything that I can see, everything that I can be is part of who I am. That's why I have a sense of what it is, or relation or relatedness to that thing. If I have not got an aspect of it within me, then I can't have any feeling or perception or nothing in relation to that thing. So if we could see that the sky is blue, it means that the sky is part of who we are. The grass is green, that means it is part of who we are. The air that we can't see but we breathe, it is part of who we are. So basically, all of those things are part of who we are. This is about number 6. I am going to do more presentations on number 6. It's really about getting into who we are and getting our sixth sense to be awakened. Really, okay. I hope you have enjoyed this. I hope you have found this fun. And if you like this presentation, click the like button and share, because this is how we do it. We share to actualizing soulful love. Stay blessed, stay bright, be a field, because we are planting new seeds. Stay ignited. Namaste. And spill over with love.